once more into the breach. Once more, we muster strength, courage, and hype. Once more, we get ready for Star Wars. And believe it or not, believe it or not, wild and crazy news has made its way onto the interwebs. And it is possible that ANDOR may well show us what the future of Star Wars will look like, both on Disney Plus and in the theaters. Yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy. Yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to break it down. I have mixed feelings about it. But yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, okay? All right, everybody. What's up? Good morning. How are you? Yeah, I'm already in Nerd Ventures Tower. It's time to get started. It's time to get fucking going! So I hope you've had your coffee. I hope you're ready to go. I hope you're excited and well. Now, let's address a couple of things right away. Okay? First of all, last night's Nerd Theory. Where's it at? What happened? Yeah, exactly. Everybody wants to know. I got hit up. Everybody's hit me up about this shit, man. You know, look, I get it, okay? So here's what happened. We were talking about the Grand Theft Auto leaks. Yeah, that's right. We were talking about it. We didn't show nothing. We just talked about it a little bit. And towards the end of the stream, I had told Theory that there were some reports online that people that were even just talking about those leaks were getting copyright strucken by a right of copy. I don't know the exact phrasing, okay? But the idea is this. There's two kind of things that go on YouTube, right? You have a copyright claim, and then you have a copyright strike. Okay? Copyright claim is what somebody does when they're like, yo, this is a piece of our content, so we get a piece of that sweet AdSense revenue that you got going on. And claims happen all the time. They're way less serious. But strikes, however, are basically like, oh, no. You actually fucked up in a copyright sense. And so now we're going to actually strike you. And 3 strikes and you're done. 3 strikes, and you're done. It's very, very bad. It's a really crazy system where if you get 3 copyright strikes, not only is your channel destroyed and banned, but all of your other channels are banned as well. And they just take you out, okay? Now, here's the thing. I don't think, and even some of the people online that were copyright struck by 2 Takes Games or whatever the hell it is, the claims were released, okay? So I'm pretty sure he can just put that video back up. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what he'll do. I don't see a reason to have the video down. But copyright strikes, unfortunately, are a very serious thing. And, it's one of those things, man. It's a YouTube thing. Take-Two Interactive. Right on. Yeah, so that should clear itself up. That should be available. And I'm pretty sure it'll be up on Spotify regardless soon. Okay? So let's just get that out of the way. Thing number 2 that we need to talk about. We will be doing a big old watch party for ANDOR later tonight. I'm actually starting to get a little excited about it, and we'll get into why in a little bit here because of the story about Tony Gilroy, right? But regardless, we're going to be doing this. I believe, unless I hear otherwise, and I'll keep a lookout for this, I believe it's just going to drop at its regular time. So we'll start streaming at 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll get in there, we'll get excited, we'll get our freaking popcorn, our snacks, we'll talk about, where we're at with it. We'll then watch all 3 episodes together, then we'll have a discussion. Maybe Theory and I will link up and chat after that. I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes, his streams get real crazy after these shows, so, he's just got a lot going on. So, yeah, maybe we'll chat up at that time, maybe we won't. Regardless, we will be talking about ANDOR. Probably we'll do a stream Thursday morning, of course. And I think that Thursday morning stream, we'll talk about ANDOR and we'll talk about She-Hulk. but we will not be doing a She-Hulk watch party this week. And depending on what happens with this episode, I might be done with She-Hulk watch parties. Maybe we'll return to them for the back half of the season or whatever. She-Hulk's just, not really doing it for me. Not that good of a show, in my opinion. Maybe, possibly, it'll improve. It'll get much better. But no She-Hulk watch party this week, okay? It's about ANDOR this week, okay? What else is going on? Is there anything else I need to talk to you guys about? I don't think so. Yeah, I think we're good. I think that's it. Okay, now. This is a very fresh story that we're about to talk about. Okay? A fresh story. And this comes from Fandom Wire. Okay. Thank you, Guy English. I'll go over that later on, brother. We'll talk about the super chats at the end of the stream. So, this comes from Fandom Wire. And I think Fandom Wire has some pretty good sources, but they're also not necessarily in the business of like dropping exclusives all the time, right? So, I don't know. I'm going to take this with kind of a grain of salt here, but I think it's worth talking about and thinking about. If this is indeed real, I expect many other people to corroborate this soon, possibly even to leak out into the Hollywood trades, right? So, what's the deal? What is the deal? Here we go. Tony Gilroy signs first look deal with LucasFilm. Okay? And it says here, the hype behind the upcoming Star Wars series ANDOR is getting very big, especially after early reactions from critics have been making their way across social media. The series itself was created and written by Tony Gilroy, who, along with writing Rogue One, a Star Wars story, has written screenplays for the Bourne series and Michael Clayton. Yeah, he's really good at what he does. Fandom Wire has received exclusive insider information that Tony Gilroy has signed a first look deal with Lucasfilm. This deal apparently includes developing more Star Wars series for Disney Plus, as well as directing a Star Wars movie. That is honestly ridiculous. Okay, ridiculous. Now, I'm actually like legitimately excited to talk to all of you about this. Okay, and that's kind of interesting in and of itself because I don't actually know the last time I was actually really excited to talk about something with Star Wars. Like, just facts. I think most of you probably already know this or whatever, but I'm pretty sour on Star Wars. Yeah, so, I mean, like, chat, you let me know. Like, do you think that I've been a little hard on Star Wars recently? Yes or no? Do you think I've been a little hard on them? Have I been going a little hard on Lucasfilm? I mean, you know, yes or no? What do you think? You know? What do you think? You think I'm going a little too hard? Yeah, I probably have. Okay? Everybody, relax your buttholes. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about, we'll start with kind of some of my trepidation about this, why it might not actually be the best and how it could blow up in their face, but then we'll get into the juice, why I'm actually thinking this could be a real turning point for where Star Wars is currently at. This is not the first time that something like this has happened. You will recall, of course, that Rian Johnson was given an entire trilogy green-lit before The Last Jedi even came out. And Lucasfilm at the time was so hyped up, so high on The Last Jedi, that they signed this deal with Rian. They were very excited about it. They green-lit it. They put it out there in the press, okay? So, we know how that worked out, okay? And it does feel a little bit like putting the cart in front of the horse, right? Like a very reactionary thing. Oh, we did this thing. Andor's pretty dope. Oh, it's crushing it. Oh, people really like it. The critics really like it. Let's sign this massive deal with Tony Gilroy, it does kind of beg the question, like, what are they going to do if people don't like Andor? Okay? Now, the hype on Andor is real, and it's very likely that Andor is going to be a really good show, but there's no guarantee. I always find these moves by studios to be a little bit confusing. Like, why would you do something like this before you know how the reception of the product is actually going to be? You know? So there is some concern here that this is just another reactionary move, another kind of silly move. And I will also say, like, as much as I am excited about Andor, Tony Gilroy is definitely not a Star Wars guy. He never liked Star Wars before he did Rogue One. I don't think he knows much about the lore at all. He's definitely a brilliant writer and a brilliant filmmaker, but he's not a Star Wars guy, right? And one of the complaints that we've heard about Andor, or at least, you know, this is presumably a complaint that some will have, is that there's not actually a lot of, you know, whether you want to call it Easter egg stuff, whether you want to call it fan service, whatever you want to call it, some of that Star Wars juice. Like, I made the point yesterday, I made it on my stream, I made it on Nerd Theory, that to me, you look at what Dave Filoni does, that's my version of Star Wars. That's my flavor that I want. I want more of that. And I feel like Dave has this incredible ability to enhance the stories that came before, enrich the characters that we know, take us in new directions, but do stuff in such a familiar way with familiar characters that it just feels wholesome. It feels like a warm blanket. It's very nice. I prefer Dave Filoni's take, his vibe, man. You know, the way he makes Star Wars. I much prefer that to what I'm seeing from the Andor stuff so far. Okay? So there's some level here of like, okay, you know, but, and I think that it's healthy. I think that it's fair as Star Wars fans to have some trepidation and to be a little bit concerned about anything they do. I mean, at this point, how could you not, right? On the other hand, if Andor is that good, if Andor comes out and the vast majority of fans are like, I'll have more of that, please, then it would be a massive W for Star Wars to sign Tony to such a deal, to have him develop further movies or further shows, and to develop and work on a movie. That would be such a huge W for them. I mean, one of the problems that we have with Star Wars right now, at least that I personally have with Star Wars, is that I don't feel a cohesion with the brand identity. You know what I mean? You've got a Boba Fett show made by the guy that made The Mandalorian. It feels nothing like The Mandalorian other than 2 episodes that literally are Mandalorian episodes. The rest of the show sucks. It's not good. Doesn't feel the same. It's whack. You've got Kenobi, which is made by a lady who was heralded as this amazing newcomer, visionary, incredible director that, of course, gave us some of the best moments of The Mandalorian Season 1, and it's dog shit, dude. Kenobi's dog shit. All right, I'm going to try to be more positive. I personally didn't care for Kenobi. Okay? And then again, all the while all of that's going on, you've got Dave Filoni stuff. Like, you've got literally Tales of the Jedi pops up, doesn't feel similar to Kenobi, doesn't feel similar to this, but it feels like Star Wars, right? So there's like an identity crisis at LucasFilm. There's an identity crisis with Star Wars. And if this shit slaps, if Andor is incredible, we might be looking at the new tone for Star Wars moving forward. I mean, in a lot of ways, and like, you let me know, guys, because this is how I feel. In a lot of ways, when I look at especially what J.J. Abrams did with the sequel trilogy, Ryan, maybe not so much, but with J.J. in particular, it's like a cheap imitation of George. It's like he's too afraid to do anything new or revolutionary that it all ends up feeling like just kind of cheap nostalgia grab, you know, kind of just a parody of what came before. You know what I mean? I don't like it. And Rogue One does certainly have I would say, a somewhat unique tone, but definitely just like the palette, the way that it kind of goes. It's very like, spy centric. Michael Clayton. It has Tony Gilroy's DNA all over it. So if this is incredible and people really like it, because the things that we've heard about Andor, right? Violent. Like, seriously violent. Not like violent like, oh, I can't believe that planet exploded with all those people we have no fucking connection to whatsoever. No, what I'm talking about is like in the moment, actual gritty, like stormtroopers being violent, being able to actually hit people with blasters, a little bit darker, That's the vibe. Implied sexual things going on. Mature. It's a little mature, right? I mean, what were the headlines, guys? Like, think about it. The headlines were, this is the first Star Wars show made for grown-ups, right? Which I take a little bit of offense to, just being real. But also, I understand that energy. I understand what people are saying. It's more mature. It's going to have more violence. It's going to have sexual tension, which you never in a million years would have thought would have been in Star Wars so explicitly, from what I've heard. It's going to be incredibly political. Incredibly political. Hopefully tastefully political, but definitely political. So, what do you guys think? Like, what do you think? Do you think that Star Wars could kind of take on a new identity, and that sort of with this big deal with Tony Gilroy, could we be looking at a scenario here where this is what Star Wars is now? You know what I mean? Because maybe they do more series, maybe he does a movie, and I see no reason as to why, if that's not successful, they wouldn't either have him do more, or they wouldn't have other people emulate that vibe, that strategy. It's a crazy thing, Because I could absolutely see it working, but it does feel like, I don't know if I want to say like a harsh departure from the vibe that I always felt about Star Wars, but it almost feels like a kind of, it's almost like if over here you've got the Marvel tone, and over here you've got like the Zack Snyder DC tone. It almost feels like what Tony Gilroy is doing is shifting it from the Marvel vibe with like Vespas and Boba Fett winning the rule with respect and bullshit like that, and pushing it a little bit more towards the Zack Snyder DC vibe, where it's a little bit more mature and dark. I don't know. It's so interesting to me. And it's like, Star Wars was definitely having a problem, from what I understand. Star Wars was having an issue connecting with young people. Like, a lot of young people are not connecting with Star Wars as a brand. Right? But maybe, like, the taste of even young people has kind of evolved and is matured to this place where they actually might vibe with this shit more. You know what I mean? Because, like, I mean, I don't know, like, what are kids even into these days? I mean, obviously, like, kids, for the most part, I think, love Marvel, and they like what's going on in the Marvel stuff. But, I mean, there were a lot of kids that grew up or had, like, kind of seminal young adult or kid moments around Infinity War and Endgame, which I would argue are way darker than anything Star Wars has done recently. Like, there's a lot of dark shit going on, a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of sacrifice, death, things like that. So I don't know. Maybe this is better. Kids like Invincible, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Invincible is incredibly dark. Like, is it possible that this shift is something that could actually reshape and repair Star Wars and the brand moving forward? I'm open to it. Okay? Now, this does bring a little bit of an extra bit of emphasis, and to me, like, a very curious eye to Andor itself. You know what I mean? So if this is real, and again, like, how many other people know about this? When we do our watch party tonight, we'll be able to clarify a little bit more of like, oh, have other people come out to corroborate this? Are other people saying this is real? Because again, maybe this is just a rumor. Maybe he's in talks for something like this and it's, you know, possibly going to go down. But sometimes in this like game where you're trying to get exclusives, a lot of people will know about something and it's the first person that gets published that gets it. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully throughout the day, we learn more information that will either validate this or put it into question. But I'm going to be watching ANDOR with even more attention now, and I'm going to be thinking about and considering that this might now be the vibe for Star Wars moving forward. This might be the future of Star Wars. This might be what your next, not just one, but several Star Wars movies end up looking like. This might become what the majority of live-action Star Wars content on Disney Plus looks like. And I find that to be really interesting, okay? I find that to be really interesting. Now, the other side of this, getting back into just like a little bit of skepticism and a little bit of like, what the fuck, bro? What's up with John and Dave? Like, what's up with John and Dave, dude? John and Dave made 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. They're working on all these other things. How do they not get something like this? I guess what? Because Dave's already working for them or something? Like, I don't understand why these two dudes who have a pretty good track record and I think giving fans what they want, etc., etc. How does Tony Gilroy come in, make ANDOR? He's not even directing any of the episodes in season 2. And yet he's going to get the development deal? Like, what? Like, isn't that odd? Probably because of Mando season 3, but what does that mean? Because this deal doesn't mean that tomorrow Gilroy is going to start immediately working on his next thing. It's a deal that implies development, meaning he doesn't have that shit developed yet, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man. I just feel like, I don't know. You know, like the conspiratorial side of my brain, and this is just conspiratorial, like this is just like put the tinfoil hat on, like what the fuck's going on, is it possible that the narrative, the consistent narrative that's out there about how John and Dave should just take over and nobody likes Kathy has this scorned Kathy from wanting to advance them further? I mean, that's ridiculous, right? Like you would obviously hope not. You would hope that that's not what's going on. But there's a rumor that that's kind of what's happening between her and Kevin Feige. Again, rumor. It's far out. Tinfoil hat. Put the tinfoil hat on. You know what I mean? It's certainly interesting. It is certainly interesting. And I think such an incredible exclusive for Fandom Wire. The day before ANDOR releases publicly. And hopefully, I mean, again, this is confirmed. Hopefully it gets confirmed to be real. People are like, yo, this shit's crazy. Let's go. You know, and could get us really, really excited, man. But I mean, dude, I'll tell you this. If I walk out, if we do the watch party tonight, which like I'm already, despite my best efforts and despite being super fucking grumpy about Star Wars, like way more grumpy than I want to be. I don't like being grumpy about Star Wars. I'm trying to create that kind of environment. And I apologize to people, that just want to get excited about Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, it has gotten to a place that I actually never thought it would get to with me personally with Star Wars. We are, like, not on good terms. Okay? But if we sit down to watch ANDOR tonight, and it fucking slaps, and I'm talking, like, wet salmon across the face slap, then all of a sudden I'm going to be kind of excited at the prospect of Tony Gilroy forging the future path for Star Wars. That's going to be kind of dope, bro. I do really like Rogue One. You know what I mean? And, you know, some of the people that are very high on Andor, I respect their opinions and I align with them most of the time. So, what a twist. What a twist. You will still complain. I mean, I'll probably complain, yeah. Probably. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Yeah, I might. But I still might love it. I still might think it's the best. And that would be kind of fun, man. It would be nice to be excited about Star Wars again. And to be honest, they've been so quiet and closed up about everything that's going on. Maybe the Gilroy deal is a really smart move, you know? So maybe a rare Star Wars W and the possibility of an actual New Hope. I don't know. That was corny. Shut your mouth, Michael Gonzalez. That was awesome. You kidding me? That was just off the dome, too. Holy shit. That shit was great. Are you not entertained? Is that not why you are here? Holy shit. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this DC thing. Okay? This shit's wild, bro. Did you guys hear about this? Do you know what's going on with DC? Yo, DC fans, how are you guys feeling, man? Like, for real. Like, I feel like if they ever do like a big Hall H or another fandom or whatever with DC, I feel like they need to pass out like Xanax to all the fans or some shit, dude, because they have put y'all through some trauma, dude. Like, it is crazy, okay? So, I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but the Hollywood Reporter dropped a big article Friday, okay? And at first, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I looked at it, I saw it, I was like, Jesus, I don't know about this shit. And then I kind of ignored it. But both John Campea and Grace Randolph have covered it extensively at this point, and it seems like it's real, and I can't believe it. Like, it's difficult to believe it. Okay? Essentially, what the report states is that the word... Oh, really, Trev? I'll have to check that out. The word around Hollywood is that NBC Universal will be purchasing some of, or possibly all, of the Warner Brothers Discovery properties in 2024. Like, not in 5 years, not in 10 years, in 2024. So, Zaslav, right, who some heralded as this crazy savior. He was going to come in, drink Diet Cokes, and kick ass and fix everything, you know? Zaslav was going to come in and restore the Snyderverse. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Zaslav is going to kick all of the Snyder haters out of Warner Brothers. He was going to go over to Zach's house, give him a bottle of Dom Perignon, give him a hand job, and welcome him back. And restore the Snyderverse. Stop me if you've heard that one before. By the way, side note, prediction, okay? I would like to prognosticate a little bit. I predict several videos and or blogs about how NBC Universal's gonna restore the Snyderverse in 2024. I'm gonna go out on a limb. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna predict a few videos, maybe tweet longers, you know, maybe a couple tiki-talkies, maybe a blog, maybe a few fucking airplane banners flying around NBC Universal Studios in 2024, begging for them to restore the Snyderverse. Holy shit, dude. Now, going back to the Zaslav thing, man, this is fucking wild. What a lot of people have been saying is when you look at the moves that Zaslav is making, it becomes pretty obvious that he may have been preparing for this the entire time. That what he's trying to do is get the company into the kind of shape that would, you know, have very low amount of debt. I think he tried to pad the stock price before it blew up in his face. But he's trying to do whatever he can to get DC and really Warner Brothers in general to a place where he can make a good bit of profit on this merger and sale. And that's fucking crazy. Like, this whole time people were like, oh man, this dude, you know, he's a hero. He's going to come in and fix all of this stuff. He is literally the worst. He is literally the worst. He came in, shit-canned this movie, shit-canned this show, canceled all these shows, deleted them off the internet so he didn't have to pay royalties. He's literally penny pinching to the absolute maximum. And this is probably also why, you know, Dan Lin backed off of the job. And in the Hollywood Reporter article from last week, it's implied that this is why Zaslav can't fill this role, because word pretty quickly spread around Hollywood that this was what was going to happen. And so nobody wants this job. Nobody wants to take a job to control the IP and then have new bosses in less than 2 years and probably get fired or have all of their hard work changed. So it also, unfortunately, and I know this one's going to piss off the Snyder fans, but this is just the way I see it. This probably also explains why they won't outright come out and say it's over. Why they're trying to get Ben and maybe Henry to pop up in a couple of things here and there, because they want to just try to pump the stock, dude. And they want to just try to have all of this content float in limbo effectively so that they can just sell it off. I mean, wow. I mean, wow. What a twist. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what do you think? Do you guys think that this information and this news, is this going to pump the stock? Is this going to bolster anticipation and hype for these DC projects? I mean, are you guys, in the wake of such information, are you more excited to go check out Black Cat? Like, what the fuck? You excited to go check it out? Yeah? You want to go check out Shazam as well? They should call, like, if DC did phases in the same way that if DC did phases in the same way that Marvel does phases, this would be the jerk him around for a little bit longer saga. That's what this would be. Gal Gadot being in Shazam is just jerking you off for a little longer. Ben coming back and doing all these favors for Warner Brothers is just them jerking you off a little bit longer. If they get Henry Cavill, it's just to jerk you off for a little longer. It doesn't mean anything. Nothing's being restored. They're not going back to Zack. They don't have a plan. They don't have an outcome. And they want to try to hide that from people as much as possible to bolster the stock price so that they can sell it off in a couple of years and get a big fat stack. That's it. So, what a twist. What a twist. I mean, it's almost inconceivable, dude. Like, holy shit, DC. Holy shit, DC. I feel bad for y'all. I feel bad for DC fans, and I'm a DC fan myself, but I've been over it for a while. I love the Snyderverse. I thought the Snyder Cut was incredible, but it became pretty obvious to me that like that's not really what they're gonna do. So I don't know. Marvel announced a new Iron Man game. Is that true? Is that real? I don't know. Okay, let's get into Q&A now. Let's see what y'all are talking about. We'll get into the soupies. We'll get into the super chats. We'll get into some member chats. We'll hang out in the chat. And we'll just talk about this craziness, man. It's like Star Wars maybe having a rare W. DC having a very common L. It is what it is. All right, give me 1 second. I just want to silently ban one person. I'm not even that mad. I smell a butthole. And not like when my son poops his diaper. Like, just the attitude, the stink, the vibe on a person. Like, you stanky, bro. Okay. First in today with a $5 holla is Guy English, who says, Jay Smooth, how's the little one doing? Super excited for the show. And I can't wait for the stretch of watch parties. Much love, broski. Thank you so much, man. Everything's good. He had a rough night. He was a little grumpy, but I actually got very good rest and was just feeling like up for it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you're really tired and exhausted and frustrated and the baby is also that, like, that's a bad mix. And as long as I can be chill, like, it's gonna be fine, because he's a baby. Like, you know what I mean? He's got baby things going on. He's worried about DC and whatnot. Christopher says with the $5 holla, says trajectory matters. Star Wars improving after sequel trilogy, while Marvel is trending down since Endgame. I think that's absolutely fair, but I don't know that I would agree that Star Wars is improving since the sequel trilogy. I think there have been a few moments, a few flashes of brilliance, but it's just opinion or whatever, but I think Star Wars has been handling it pretty poorly. And Marvel, I also feel, while you can I think it's completely and totally fair to say that they are downtrending since Endgame. I would also argue that you were always going to do that. That after like such a pop culturally crazy and relevant moment, you were always going to have a cool off period, right? And I would also argue that Marvel's cool off period is not anywhere near as bad as some people are making it out to be, and they can course correct pretty quickly. You know what I mean? In fact, I'm doing a video later about, there might even be 2 videos coming out today. And one is about a new change that's happening to Daredevil Born Again. And holy shit, dude, we might have just got super lucky. And yeah, so really good stuff on the horizon. But I appreciate the 5, Christopher. Appreciate you. Overbound Games Studio member for 5 months says, ANDOR can take a lit lightsaber, Filoniverse for life, Nerdventures for life. I mean, I'm kind of in that same boat, man. But I'm also gonna change my tune pretty quick if Andor is incredible, it's incredible. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not so scorned on Star Wars that I won't be able to recognize in front of my face really good Star Wars content. And if it slaps, even if it's not, you know, my preferred thing, if it's really good and a lot of the fans are behind it, I'm gonna be like more. And it seems like that's maybe what they're doing, right? That's a W. So we'll just see. We shall just see. Appreciate you either way, man. Jack Delesola with a very generous 10 spot says, Josh, you are my favorite YouTuber. I watch all your vids during and after work. No, you don't like everything always, but he mentioned you in his last video about Gosling being Doom. I wouldn't mind. Look, I think when it comes to everything always, and I haven't talked to Michael, like, it's been years, and when I talked to him back in the day, it was very brief. And I know especially during the pandemic, I think I shit-talked him, like, real bad one day or whatever. But here's the thing, man. Like, I'm kind of a dick face, especially when I'm streaming and I'm trying to be entertaining. I don't actually dislike Michael Roman. You know what I mean? He does things a little bit differently than me, but also, it was a long time ago when I was initially irritated by him. It is very possible that he has changed quite a bit. I mean, I know I have changed quite a bit. So, yeah, dude, I don't have any hard feelings about, you know, Michael or whatever. He's a content creator like me. He's a Marvel head like me. He's doing his thing. So it's all good. And, yeah, I appreciate him talking to me about the Doom thing. That's cool. Orange Grove 55 with a 5 spot says, did you see Chapek sat down for an interview with Park fan sites at D23? That's kind of unheard of for a CEO of a company Disney size. Kudos to Chapes. I did not hear that. I will look into it a little bit more, but that's cool. I mean, the thing is, man, like, Chapek gets a lot of hate. I feel like he gets over-hated, though. Like, legitimately. I feel as though he gets over-hated. And it's possible if things stabilize in the next couple of years for Disney, some of that hate will go away. But also, I mean, like, you kind of can't blame people. I mean, I feel like Disney's been fucking up left and right, to be honest with you. But Jack follows up with a 17-month membership and says, LMAO, DC and Sony are jokes. DC needs to hire Feige to fix it all, and Sony needs to sell the Spider-Man rights for any price. I don't want to see Elm work, though. I know, dude, right? And I agree, like, dude, Sony and DC, like, I don't know, brother. It's a wild time out there in entertainment, you know what I mean? It's very wild, it's very crazy, but I'm here for it, and I like, obviously, all the fun stuff that we watch and talk about, but I like talking about it, too, you know? So as much as, like, I wish these companies would get their shit together, it's at the very least been entertaining content to talk about for the last couple of years. I mean, how many times have we talked about Warner Brothers and how they're just the worst, dude? And the other thing that's crazy about this, and I don't know if this is guaranteed or not, but I've heard some speculation that if this deal goes down, NBC Universal will literally end Warner Brothers. That Warner Brothers will not exist the same way that it has for a long time. And that's crazy because this is an OG studio that has an incredible history in Hollywood, and it might be gone. It might become a tab on a streaming service, dude. Like, holy shit. Strange times indeed. Nick D with a 10 spot, very generous, says, but I thought the hierarchy of the DCs was going to change and stuff. Oh, who told you that? Who told you that? The fucking Rock? Hey, we'll see. You can't fake numbers. You can't, like, well, I guess you can fake numbers, but, like, you can't really fake it. If this movie blows up, if Black Adam is dope, if people absolutely love the movie, then I'll sit back and be like, well done, Rock. You did it. This is crazy. Good for you and good for the fans. I mean, you guys know how I feel about that shit. I'm like, nah, dude, it's a vanity project for The Rock. He doesn't give a shit about the character. He doesn't give a shit about comics. He just knows it's in the zeitgeist. He's just trying to get more clout. I'm not about it. I'm not about it, but I also won't deny it if it's really successful. I'll be like, shit, he did it. Mandalore says with a 10 spot, very generous, says, morning, bright eyes. Wait, what? Great nerd theory last night. Unfortunately, wasn't able to stay up for the whole thing. Try to catch it this morning, and it's privatized. Luckily, I got the bald, angry Josh stream to fall back on. There you go. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I believe Theory took it down because of the Call of Duty stuff. I don't think he has to. I think he could probably put it back up, but that's just my opinion. But it is, of course, his channel. He's got to do what he feels is right. Chase says, member for 8 months, says, scorned Kennedy feels correct. I mean, yeah, it feels correct, but we also got to be fair. I mean, we don't know, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know. I mean, this could legitimately be a really good move for all parties. And I think at some level, Kathy does care about legacy. I think it's pretty tarnished, but it is possible that she's looking to put some pieces in place and leave the brand in a better spot. And you got to respect that, even if you don't like her. The talented Mr. Griffin with a $2 holla said, what would a Peacock ran DC even look like? Totally different. I'll tell you that. 100% different. Like, completely different. And that's about all I know, bro. Like, you know, maybe in 2 years' time, it's time to start up all these thoughts again. It's time to get into the deep speculation, start thinking about who will be cast as the new Justice League, you know, in a couple of years' time. But for now, the only thing I could tell you is different. It will look different. Kev, remember, for 23 months, thanks for all that support, brother. Says, great day to have a great day. ANDOR tomorrow, and it's going to change Star Wars forever. Truly excited for this show. Hot D, still the best show since Game of Thrones. I agree with you there. And yeah, dude, like, a lot of people are making comparisons to some of the HBO shows, saying that this is just so mature. It feels so real, so visceral. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's go. ANDOR, show me what you got. Travis Adams, member for 25 months. Holy shit. Says, we get new Star Wars tonight. I'm pumped. Shout out all the nerd vendors. Remember, they might drop at 9 if we lucky. Oh my god. I mean, I'm gonna keep an eye on it, bro. I would be into it, but I am gonna be super pissed if, like, they drop it randomly with no warning whatsoever and I'm asleep. Like, that shit's annoying. What's up, Jumbo Josh? Who's your favorite Spider-Man / favorite Spider-Man movie and why? Rank all 3 Spider-Man. So for me personally, I like Tom the best, I like Toby, and I like Andrew after that. But I like Andrew's Spider-Man probably more than a lot of other people do. I thought he was great. He was brilliant in Spider-Man No Way Home. So yeah, I'd probably rank him like that. But I like Tom's Spider-Man. I know some people are like, oh, he's just an Iron Boy or whatever. I'm like, dude, he's got a Queen's accent. You know, he's short, athletic. I can buy it. And especially now that he's like just living in a shitty apartment in New York, it feels very Peter from the comics. So yeah, I think he's the best. Josh I, $2 holla, says, bro, Monday Night Raw was fire. P.S. Take my money. Yo. That's sick, dude. Glad you guys had a good time. That seems real fun. I appreciate the love. Kendall says, I smell a MCU DC crossover coming. It's my B-Day. Holy shit. Can we get some happy birthdays, celebration, cake, something, just a bunch of crazy shit in the chat for Kendall. Happy birthday, brother. Hope it's a good one. What do you got going on? What do you got going on for your birthday, man? What do you like to do? What's like your thing? I like to, on my birthdays, I just like to play games, dude. I just like to have some time to play games, like either, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, a bunch of video games or some shit. I like to just be a degenerate on my birthdays. And to be honest with you, like, I've been kind of craving one of those, like, total degenerate, like, gaming sessions where you just want to play the game for hours and hours, you know, try to, like, be as far away from your personal responsibilities as possible, eating like shit, you know, not sleeping, just being a total fucking degenerate, but just grinding out on a game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of craving that. Yeah, playing 2K all day, my man. That's what I'm talking about. COD needs a bunch of changes, and the game is giving their brainwashed fanboys some good changes, so that's awesome. Yeah, I might play the beta this weekend. Oh, so me in high school, says Fernie. I mean, dude, it's been me in multiple times in my life. It got to be a really good game, though. I feel attacked. Don't feel attacked, dude. Live your life, man. Live your life. I hope they drop at 9 and don't announce so we can see Angry Josh. You don't say that. I'm getting Baldur's Gate 3 soon. Baldur's Gate 3 is incredible. Baldur's Gate 3 is incredible. What's new with your comic? I think, and actually, let me double check this. We got another page colored, and the artist just finished up a crazy project. He did like 40 pages in 2 weeks for a different book. So he's like chilling a little bit. He's like taking a break, and then he's going to get back into doing the rest of the pages. I also I wrote a new little intro for the book, so I kind of pushed the page count for the book a little bit. Let me see if I can find this page for you guys and show you guys. But yeah, we're making progress, man. We're making progress. I can't get to that page right now. All right, yeah, I can show you this. I guess. Also, I've been emailing people back and forth about the characters that they want to create for the book, and I'm pretty excited. You know what the problem is? Like, y'all came up with some really cool characters, and I feel like you guys tricked me, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like you guys tricked me a little bit, okay? Because did I want you guys to have, like, your characters in the book? Yeah. But I was just going to fucking kill all your characters. Yeah, Kendall, you're like one of the only ones that hasn't emailed me, but it's all good. I know you're busy. I was going to just have all y'all characters just get, like, destroyed really quick. Okay? And yet, now you guys are, like, putting in all this cool shit, you know, like Ferdy wants his to, like, look like him and be like his D&D character. You know, Renee's got a very sweet idea. I won't ruin it, but he's got a very sweet idea for his. Ross has this character that he's, like, been working on for years and shit. And I'm just sitting back and I'm like, God damn it. Because I was just going to kill all y'all. Now I feel like I got to actually, like, do it a little bit of justice and, like, put you more into the story. So thanks a lot. But yeah, no, it'll be cool. It'll be cool to figure it out. We'll get it sorted. I just have to now kind of rethink it a little bit. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is one of the newest pages here from the colorist. Still got to get the letters on this thing and everything like that. But yeah, I like it. I dig it. I really like the top panel a lot too, because it's like kind of showcasing like what the war really looks like. And the page after this is going to be quite violent as well. So, yep, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited just in general about the book. I've also been developing another... My D&D character died first campaign too. Just kill him off. Oh, okay, right on. We'll figure it out. Well, you know what I mean? I've just been thinking about it. Where can we read the comic? Oh, well, nowhere yet. You know, when we get it going, we'll either self-publish, which is probably what we'll do. My plan right now, unless we get a publishing deal, my plan is to have a lot of books available via the Kickstarter, then have a stockpile of books that I'll take next year around to different Comic-Cons. So we'll go to Comic-Cons, we'll sell the book, you know, in person to people at different cons. Yeah, I have 3 issues written, and I think this team can work pretty quickly. The problem is just timing. So we got to like get everybody on the same page. If the first Kickstarter is really, really successful, then we'll just keep it moving, man. You know what I mean? Like we will just keep it moving. And move on. I will say too, I'm developing another story right now that I'm very, very excited about. Like the world of this comic book is amazing, and I think it's a great sandbox, and I have a lot of fun in there. And like I said, I'm like 3 issues in, and I have ideas for 4 or 5 and more issues. I could literally write this book for probably ever. But the other one is like my version of Star Wars. Like it's like Star Wars and Dragon Ball Z combined. It's very big. You know what I mean? It's a very big story, you know, kind of epic. So that's going to take time to develop it, but I'm kind of developing that as well. So a lot of stuff. I'm developing a lot of stuff, man. Drum & Company says, hey, Josh, sorry if you already covered this, but do you think you'll make a Den of Nerds video for this whole Tony Gilroy thing? I'm not going to do a dedicated video to it, but I will talk about it a lot in my breakdown/review of the first 3 episodes. So after I watch the first 3 episodes, like Wednesday morning, like I'll probably watch parts of them again. I don't know if I can watch all of them again, but I'll definitely watch like episode 3 and kind of just, you know, get into the vibe or whatever. And then I'll definitely talk about the Tony Gilroy thing in that video. But yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it. We've been talking about it a lot in this stream and all that. So Tyler says, any updates on the Game of Thrones remake? What do you mean by that, brother? What do you mean? What's up, Jay? What do you mean by that? The remake? Or am I misunderstanding you? Because there's going to be a Jon Snow spin-off, but that's not a remake. It could maybe change some things or retcon some things from the last season, but it's not a remake, so yeah. Is that what he's talking about? What? It was a rumor that... no, there's no way they're going to do that, dude. There's no way they're going to remake Game of Thrones. That's crazy, dude. Y'all come up with the craziest theories. The internet never fails to amaze. What is the comic universe called? I will tell you that the name of the book is called Unity. Yeah. Ash Hammer, member for 19 months, says, make good rat. LMAO, I'm JK. Much love. I hope you're doing well, and I'm really happy for your journey with your kid. You're going to be a great father. Thanks, man. Yeah, look, it's definitely got its ups and downs. It's definitely challenging in some ways for sure, but it's really rewarding too. He's awesome. He's a little cutie. We love him. So yeah, I'm excited to, I think once he gets a little bit older and I can start actually like having experiences with him and like sharing things with him and stuff like that, I think that's going to really be incredible. You know what I mean? Not that it's not fun right now, but like, it's just he's a baby. He's not really doing much, and when he's hungry or frustrated or whatever, he's just gonna cry and let us know. I keep telling him, like, use your words. Like, what do you want? And he hasn't really used his words yet. So, but thank you. Can we get Brandon Fraser in Star Wars / Marvel? Yeah, it's possible. I mean, especially because the buzz on that movie he did with Aronofsky is apparently pretty good. The buzz there is pretty good, right? So, yeah. Maybe. People love Brandon Fraser, man. People love Brandon Fraser. Yeah. Yes. Pretty sure babies are supposed to come out of the womb walking. Yeah, and like doing backflips and shit. That's what I was kind of hoping for. What's the inspo for your comic? There's a couple of books that really did influence it. One is V for Vendetta. Watchmen, for sure. And then The Authority. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably the ones that have kind of influenced it the most. Eric Andre in the MCU. Oh God, no. Please no. I don't want it. Do you have a Superman type character in the comic? Oh yes. Oh yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't say that. Wait, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? All right, guys. I'm probably going to get out of here. I think there'll be 2 videos today. There's a video that we actually wanted to release yesterday, but it got blocked. So I've got to adjust it. But I think you'll dig it. It's about what I think the 10 rings actually are and why they're going to be really important for the multiversal saga, kind of tying into some reports and things that we've talked about recently. And then the other one's going to be about Daredevil and the Punisher. So get excited for that one. Will you have physical copies available? Yes. Will your comic be more suited for an animated series or a movie? I think both could work, but I'm not going to lie. Animation kind of, to me, feels a little bit better. Magic Spoon code, please. Use code NerdVentures at checkout when you get your Magic Spoon. Do it. And I gotta order a new Magic Spoon as well, actually, because I'm kind of out of all the flavors I like. So yeah, and use code NerdVentures when you buy a Paradox Customs PC. Yeah, use the code. Just do it. Save yourself a little money. Let them know we sent you. And also, like, you guys don't have PCs? Don't be like Ryan. You know what I mean? Don't be like the Nerd Executive. Mobile gaming is fine when you don't have a PC or a console right in front of you. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to start nothing. You know what I mean? It's all good. If you like mobile games, I like mobile games too. When I'm on an airplane or a train, or when I'm holding my son, I can't really play a PC game properly and shit like that. You know what I mean? So get yourself a Paradox Custom PC. Holy shit. All right. Anybody? Anyway. Much love to you all. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the likes, the views, the super chats, the member chats, the love, all of it. Couple videos dropping later, and then we got a big old watch party for Andor. It's going to be exciting, man. It may well be the future of Star Wars. Much love. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Really hoping that ANDOR is pretty good, you know what I mean? I'm really hoping that shit's pretty good, bro. I mean, Star Wars would never green light a creative person to take control of a lot of content in the future before they even knew the reception of the current project that they're on. You know, they would never do that. So I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm just so damn sure that we're gonna be okay. And you know, I'll say this: as long as we've got the ability to blink the pain away, we're gonna be okay? Question mark. I just really hope that like Luke Skywalker's and drinking the titty milk scene 1. You know what I mean? Scene 1 in ANDOR. And he throws another lightsaber over his shoulder, and you know, Chewie's making out with a porg. You know what I mean? And just fucking Reva's there, and she's just telling everybody how to be a good person, and people need to look up to her